my name is Miss Sara from the Wixom Public Library, and welcome to our instructional video for our monster crafts. So we are going to go over what we're going to make, what craft materials you should have gotten from the library, and what you're going to need at home, and then we'll figure out how to make them. So we're making two crafts. We are going to make a monster that can walk, and your monster may be different than my monster, and that's okay, they're all awesome. And we're going to be making a monster mask, okay? So materials that you should have picked up from the library in your bag are your monster package for your walking monster. Taped inside your bag are going to be some googly eyes. I wouldn't take that out until you're sure you're ready to glue your eyes on, just so they don't get lost. And then you're going to have some horns and teeth, a stick, a pre-cut plate, and then some paint and a paintbrush. What you are not going to have is you're not going to have scissors and glue. I've got liquid glue and a glue stick. You could also have some tape if you would like for the stick of your monster mask. Up to you. Glue also works. You'll just have to wait longer to hold it up. And I would recommend some kind of surface to paint on, whether that's a tablecloth or cardboard or outside. This is acrylic paint, so be careful with your clothes. It'll come off of your skin and like your tabletop, but it will not come off of your clothes. Okay, so just be careful. Let's get started. Okay, let's get started with our walking monster. So first things first, you're going to want to make sure that you know which way your monster is going to walk. I did not do this when I made my first one, and he goes backwards. So that's okay, it's still fun, but if you want him going forwards, make sure that the gear that you turn, or the switch you turn, is on the right. So then he'll go forward. Okay, so let's get started by making his face. So again, yours might be different, but the way you put them together should be very similar. You're making faces and outfits, and then the tricky part is actually going to be sticking them onto his legs. So we want to make sure we do that together. Okay, so he just got his mouth. And remember, it's always okay if you don't get them perfectly where you want them. You can always trim off any extra sticky pieces. They don't have to look the exact same. Okay. Put on his hair. Okay, and then last, his bow tie. So this is where we get to the part that can be a little tricky. So remember, we're going forwards. So this is his front. What I would recommend doing is unpeeling from the front just one side of their body, whichever monster you have. It does not matter. And then so you've got this flat bit on their legs, making sure that their feet are facing forward. You're gonna put him on there. And then, what I would recommend, since this is very, very sticky, I would recommend going from the top down, just bit by bit, a little bit at a time, because otherwise it could get stuck and kind of rip, which I did here. You can see his hand is a little messed up, and I trimmed it. Going and sticking him on there, whichever monster you have, and then slowly peeling away. And then you're pulling him over and sticking so that you've got both sides on there, and then you can do their hands last. And remember, oh, see, I messed up a little bit. It's okay though. We can just take our scissors and trim a little, so it's okay. The front is really all that matters here. But that way he's stuck on both sides, and then he can walk. Okay, so so that's our first craft. Our second craft, should we move this out of the way, is we are going to work on our monster. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do before anything else, because it's going to take some time to dry, is you are going to want to get out your paint and your paintbrush and your surface to paint on, and you are going to want to paint your plate. So you only have to paint the front, whatever front side you're gonna use. You can paint the whole plate if you want, but you're really only gonna see the front, okay? So you're gonna paint the whole thing purple, or if you have another color of paint at home you wanna use, that's cool too. But you're gonna paint the whole thing purple and let it dry. So I've already got one that's dry here. Once it's dry, or while it's drying though, you can cut out your teeth and your horns with your scissors, okay? If you need adult help, that is okay. We're gonna cut those out though. So I've already got some here. And then once your monster is all dry, you've got all your pieces cut out, this is when you can go to your bag and get your googly eyes out. This is when we're going to assemble. We're gonna get him ready to go, okay? Or her, whatever you want your monster to be. So I'm gonna use my glue stick for this part just so that the paper doesn't move all over the place and get kind of goopy. But you can use liquid glue too, just don't use too much. Okay, so we're gonna start with the teeth. Because where you put your teeth, it does not matter. It's just an open hole, but you're gonna base everything else around your teeth. So we have 6 teeth. So you can do them however you want, but I'm gonna do 3 on top and 3 on bottom. So he's kind of got some teeth that he can chomp down with. But yeah, if you want your teeth to be on the side, if you want them all on top, it's up to you. Art is whatever you want it to be, but I want my monster to be super chompy. Okay. And if you have more paper at home, you can also make more teeth too. Okay. 2 more teeth. Okay. So now we've got our teeth. See how they're kind of like a mouth that can chomp on you. Next I'm gonna do his horns. So let's get the horns nice and gluey. You can position them how you want. Get our horns nice and sticky. And remember, you can move stuff around while the glue is still wet too. That's the nice thing about glue. Okay, so I've got those nice and pressed on. So now we can do our eyes. So you should have about 10 eyes, and if you've got more googly eyes at home, you can feel free to go crazy with those too. So for this part, I would use liquid glue just to keep the eyes glued, to attach the eyes. So there is no rules for where you want to put your eyes. We're just making a googly-eyed monster. So wherever you want to put them is totally cool. Just, I wouldn't use too much glue just because then they'll take a really long time to dry. And they might move around, if you're not careful, they might move around from where you placed them. If you have too much glue, they might kind of slide down. So yeah, for these little ones, I'm just putting little dots and then putting the eye on them because they're kind of hard to put the glue on first. Okay, just a few more. Right there. So again, you can put your eyes wherever you want. They can go all over the face, on the horns, wherever you want. Okay, I think I'm gonna put my last one over here. Okay, so once your eyes dry, I would recommend waiting for them to dry. Then you can take your stick and you can either tape or glue it onto your plate so that you have your monster that you can hold up to your face and go around scaring people. Okay, so that was our monster mask and our walking monster. We hope you enjoy. Let us know if you have any questions or if you were missing any materials. And as always, we would love to see what you made. You can feel free to share it with us. We hope you had fun. Thanks for joining us.